Namaste, good morning everyone. Wishing you happy International Yoga Day. I hope my voice is clear, you can hear me. Um, Welcome you all again. So today we are celebrating International Yoga Day and it is the 6th International Yoga Day. And just to give you brief about why we celebrate it, it is about spreading the awareness, the knowledge that we have had in our culture about keeping our mind, body, and soul healthy. We just want to have that now more spreaded so that we are not forgetting it. So it was passed as a resolution. So we can just all come together as a family, and that's why Param Wellness, like we all decided to spread it out more, to let you know more about what yoga is and how you can get benefited by the practices of asana, so which is physical postures, we call it as asana, pranayam, which is breath, meditation, and there are other things. There are like 8 limbs to it. So yoga is not just physical postures; it is actually 8 limbs. So today we'll try to do a little bit of everything so that you will know exactly how it is getting benefited. And yoga, it is actually written 5,000 years ago in an ancient text, so it is actually a Vedic culture. So our ancestors, they pretty much knew what they have to do in order to be healthy. So they had a set routine, they had a set lifestyle, when to wake up, what to eat, how much to eat, what to think. So their state of being was very controlled. They used to be very disciplined. So yoga is all about discipline. Yoga is all about how the outer circumstances are there, how you can react to it, what you should react to it. Because there's so many things which is uncontrollable. You cannot control what will come in front of you. What you can control is how you are reacting to it or how you are thinking about it. So there's a term called as Maya. I don't know if you guys have been practicing yoga before, but this is also in Sankhya philosophy. So Maya is an illusion which we have. So if a person is in its true state of mind, what I mean is you are seeing world as it is without any tinted glasses. So you know how you wear sunglasses and the colors changes, then you go and take another color of lens and how it changes again. So similarly every one of us wear that tinted sunglasses which is called as Maya, and we kind of get very distracted with whatever is going around us and we get agitated. Now see the link. When you are agitated because of whatever is going around you mentally, it comes to your physical body. So that's why I was saying it is a union. Yoga is a union where at times you work on your physical body by doing asanas. It directly impacts your mind. On the other side, you are working on meditation, and meditation controls your mind and it helps your physical body. So you are working on different steps, and it actually starts to help your body overall, all the layers of body. So that's why yoga practice is very important for you. And if you haven't had done it before, you should start in supervision of a practitioner. If you are going to little intermediate courses, beginner you can do it yourself, but you have to make sure you know what yoga is, why you are actually doing it. You should not be thinking about something else, any other thoughts coming to your mind while doing yoga. It should be totally in current moment, and then you are observing your body, how in any asana your breath is, how your mind processes, and how your body is changing by each day of practice. So that is also very important to know. So yoga practice, what it does is it removes all the obstacles or tinted glasses, and you see world as it is. You don't see manipulation. You become more intuitive, and you become more determined about doing something. Also you become very strong in dealing stress, in dealing depressions, in dealing anxiety, anything of that sort. Because why we get depressed, it is all mental. Why we get anxious, it is all mental. And if you are able to control your mental situation, your mental atmosphere, you will be able to control lots of your physical aspects as well. Because now lots of studies have been done that stress is directly related to lots of diseases, lots of disorders, and mostly lifestyle disorders. So imagine if you are controlling your stress. Imagine you are able to just give probably 45 minutes to 1 hour to your body, how much benefited you will be. Whatever disease is developing inside you, which you are not aware of, it will be gone. So what happens is we start to get symptoms pretty early. For example, if you're sleeping full 8 hours or probably 7 to 8 hours, you wake up, you're still tired. So your body starts to give you signal that something is wrong. You never pay heed to it. Why? Because we never listen to our body. Awareness is not there. But when you start to do practice of yoga, you realize subtle changes. What is happening? What is changing in your body? Why I'm feeling tired? Why I'm overthinking? All these things you will realize the changes. And these subtle signs or symptoms, if you tackle it head on in the starting phases, you will be able to stop any disease which is progressing. But if you let the symptoms go for a long time, it might be pretty late. You will go to doctor, you'll have your blood test done, and then you'll realize that something is developing or something was happening to your body since long back, and then you start to have medications. You have to control your diet. It can be anything. It can be diabetes. It can be blood pressure. It can be heart
PIOLOG.
condition. So, what you have to do is awareness. That's why today we came together in this platform to celebrate International Day of Yoga. So, we all can feel the effect of yoga and we all can kind of get into that sphere, like there's one request. Can you kindly all please mute your system so that we can have it uninterrupted? And if you have any questions, you can unmute it later when the session is done. I will request it. Right now, if you can mute it. Thank you. Yeah, so what happens is there's another thing I would like to bring to light. Whenever we do yoga, like if many people are doing yoga, there is a universal consciousness that comes. We have energy, we have aura, and the universal consciousness together works. And at times we get connected to knowledge or power or consciousness of our ancestors. So consciously you are just thinking of your body to get into a good shape or to get your mind in good shape, but spiritually you are actually rising, which you might not realize, but it is happening subconsciously. And there are various things to it. We'll not go to that detail. I'll be discussing after the end of session how you can learn more about things, what you can do more getting associated with Param Wellness. But before that, let us start our session. Let us do a little bit of yoga and get into this. For that, come into Prarthana, join your hands. We'll do Avahan of Rishi Patanjali. So back should be straight, your eyes will be closed, and just relax your body. Your spine will be stable and just feel, observe your body from outside, and we'll do a prayer. You can just listen to it. Yogin chittasya padin vacha malam sharirasya cha vedakena yopakarotam pravramunina Patanjali Pranjali Ram Tosmi. So this was the prayer where we are doing a Vahan of Rishi Patanjali, and he is the one who said to bring the light of yoga on this earth. And we are asking him that all the impurities in our body, mind, soul, in all our body, we have 7 layers of body, is gone. So that is what the prayer was about. And let's do a little bit of warm up. So for that, I'll ask you to stand on your mat. So just stand on your mat, and we are doing this standing because we want to align our body. We want to have all our system running. So you will stand, place your hands on your waist and let your left leg come up. Now the thing is, you're not bending your knees are straight. What you have to work on is toes. So you have to bring all your awareness, all your thought to toes. So what I'm doing is, I am actually compressing it and stretching it out. So I am compressing and stretching it out and opening up my toes, or else you can say, if there were any toxins accumulated in my minor joints of toes, they're getting released, they're getting mobilized. It is little tricky. I know lots of people, they feel little tricky, but it will come with practice. It is just constriction. You are just contracting and then expanding it. Now same leg. I'm working on my ankle joint. So I am just moving my ankle joint up and then down. Again, the trick is your knees are not bending at all, and you're just moving your joint. The stretch should be felt on your calf muscles. So your calf muscles should feel the stretch, and the upper bone over here, you should feel the stretch. So if you are not feeling stretch, you are not doing correctly. Feel the stretch. Very nice. I'm sure you must be a little tired standing on one leg. So come back on the mat. Both the legs on the mat. Eyes will be closed and just take 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths. Very nice. Now the same thing with the right leg. So again, hand on your waist, your leg coming straight, knees are not bending, working with your right toes where you are contracting it and then you are expanding it. So do this contraction and expansion. Very good. You should feel how your joints are moving. These minor joints, this asana is actually is very good for people who have rheumatoid condition. So here we are working on a mind to bring awareness, but physically we are working for rheumatoid condition. Very nice. Now again the ankle joint up and down. So you are working with your ankle joint. Feel the stretches. So you should feel the stretch on your calf muscles and also the bone right in front, right above your calf muscle. Very important that your awareness is completely in your leg, how you are balancing yourself. Just observe your body. Let all other thoughts go. Focus on your body. Very nice. Again, let your leg come back on the mat. Eyes will be closed. Your hands will be in front. And just breathe. Breathe and bring the awareness to both your ankle joint, toes. Feel the blood circulation. Feel how it is getting activated. Now again, you'll open your eyes. Your hands will be on your waist. Your left leg will come up. Now we are doing rotation of the ankle joint. So rotate it in clockwise direction. Make sure your knees are straight. Your knees are straight. Continue to breathe. Don't stop your breath. Don't hold your breath. Just continue breathing. So now you are detoxifying this joint. Alright. Take it in opposite direction. So the rotation now will be anti-clockwise. So rotate in opposite direction. Again, make sure you're making a complete circle. Circle should be complete. You should feel stretches in your calf muscles. You should really feel that you are opening up your joints. Nice, one more. Perfect. Leg back down again. 2 deep breaths. Take 2 deep breaths. Very nice. Now again, Working with your right leg, clockwise direction, rotate. So rotation of your joint and try to rotate it making a big circle. So bigger the circle, better detoxification of joint you are doing. And bring all the awareness of your body to the movement you are doing. Change the direction. Observe how your joints are feeling. So make sure you are observing while you are rotating. Is there any obstruction? Are you hearing any sounds? Something, how your body is reacting to it. You have to observe it. That's very important. Keep on breathing. Very nice. Let your leg come back on the mat. Eyes closed, back straight, and just breathe. Breathe and feel how your ankle joints are feeling. Feel the blood flow there. And then prepare your body to open up your knee joint. So for that, maintain a gap of waist width apart between your legs and they should be parallel. Now bend your knees slightly. So you are bending your knee slightly and slightly place your hand on your thigh. So don't pressurize it, don't put your body weight onto it. Just slightly place it, bend your knee in front and then start the rotation. So my knees are joined here, but my legs are a little further away. So this is one modification of doing this. There are other modifications as well, but today we will be doing when our legs are apart but knees are together. And just work on how you are rotating your joint. Very nice. One more. And change the direction. Notice if there any crackling sound is there. Notice if there is any pain. See whether your knees are strong or you feel anything unusual. Just notice it. Notice everything, whatever is happening. Very nice. One more. Very good. Now straight, your body will be straight, hands in front, eyes closed. Just take deep breaths. Take deep breaths. And then realize how you have started from smaller toes coming to knee, and then next is our hips. So you place your hands onto your hips. The distance between the leg you will maintain the same and just rotate your hip joint. So how you do it is, you just rotate, try not to move your upper body a lot, just work on your hip joint, rotating it in clockwise direction. Your knees will not bend at all, so that also you have to make sure. Your knees will be straight, just working on your hip joint. And all the awareness should be in opening up of your hip joint. Change the direction. Let it go on the other side, on the anti-clockwise direction. Just rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Observe how your body is feeling. Keep on breathing. Make sure you are breathing. Very nice. One last. And then body will become straight, hands will come down and breathe. Take 2 deep breaths. 2 deep breaths. Very nice. Now again we will be working for a minor joint, but this time for our hands. So what we are doing is my hands are stretched right in front of my shoulders, same height, and working with my fingers. So my fingers will contract, making a fist, thumb goes inside. So thumb is going inside and you are contracting your fingers, making sure you are activating all your knuckles. Which means when I am making a fist, I'm making sure my each and every knuckle is engaged. So just don't do it loosely. do it with awareness, not loosely, but awareness how your joints are constricting, becoming a fist, and then when you open out with again little force. It is again very good for people who have carpal tunnel syndrome or any type of arthritis, who work a lot with any musical instruments or on laptop. Very nice. Now directly come to up and down movement of your palm. So palm will be facing outward and then it will be down facing you. Now the trick again is you have to make sure the level of your hand is exactly on shoulder height. It should not be down, it should not be up, and you are feeling the stretches. So the important thing is to feel the stretch on your hind arm, which is your biceps and triceps, and also your forearms. So that is very important. One more. And let your hand come down and breathe. Breathe, relax, and also feel blood circulation in your complete arm, in your joint, the wrist joint. Just feel that activated joints and muscles. And right now we are just doing kind of joint loosening. It is not even yoga as of yet. These are called as Sukshma Vyayam. We are working on all the minor joints and minor muscles. Now the next thing is, I'm making a fist, thumb goes inside, making a fist, and then make rotation. There are different type of rotation people do, but try to have both fists coming together inside and going out together. So simultaneously you are moving both your hands. They face each other inside and then they go outside. Again, the level of my hand is shoulder height. It should not be down, neither up. So that is what you have to again make sure. And completely rotate your wrist joint. It is very good to make your muscles stronger, your joints stronger. Reverse. This wrist joint is very much prone to injury. So it has to be strengthened. Mostly when there is a fall, especially in elderly, this is what is mostly affected. So you have to make it stronger. It should be strong. Keep on doing yogasana, sukshma vyayam to make it stronger. Eat right. Very good. One more. And then relax. Let your hands come down. Your hands will be down. Eyes will be closed. Check your posture, whether your back is straight. And just breathe. Breathe. Feel the activation of your wrist joint, blood circulation. Also feel your heart rate. Is it like already going up? Is it normal? Just observe your body. Now let's work for the elbows. So again, it is very simple. You let your fingertips come onto your shoulder and then you stretch it out. So your elbows are working and your fingertips on your shoulder. Then you stretch it out. Again, making sure that your hands are lying or your hands are not going beyond your shoulder height. It should be exactly the same height. So it should neither go down nor be up. Exactly same line, same level. Keep on breathing. 2 more. Very good. Relax, hands down. Take a couple breaths, deep breaths. Very nice. Next, opening up of our shoulder joint. So what we do is fingertips come onto our shoulder. There is a protrusion here. Just place it there and then rotate your shoulder. When I'm coming forward, my elbows are joining, and when I'm going back, my knuckles means these two things are joining. So what I'm doing is I'm coming forward, it is joining in front, back my knuckles are joining. So basically I'm making a complete big circle, a complete rotation, and take your time. In this we have to introduce breath. So when you are coming forward, breathe out. Going back, breathe in. So here actually your respiratory system is also activated. Since your rib cage is also functioning in this. So what you have to do is hands coming in front, breathe out, hands going back, breathe in, and do it with awareness. Make sure there are 2 points of contact, front elbow, back knuckles. Breath, do it with breath. And now let's change the direction. So go in reverse direction. Reverse. I know it is little tiring, just little bit more. Inhale, hands back, breathe out, hands forward. Neck should be straight. Make sure your neck is straight, your back is straight. And observe your shoulder joint. Observe whether is there any obstruction coming? How is the muscle? Is there any pain? Just observe it. Be your own physician. 2 more. Very nice. One last. And let your hands come down. Your hands will come down and breathe. Breathe. Back will be straight. Your weight should be distributed on both legs together. It should be evenly distributed. Don't stand on one leg. Just breathe. We have done joint loosening of leg. We have done joint loosening of our upper body, hands. Now, while standing, let's do little bit joint loosening of our neck. We'll not go in much details of it, but we'll do 2 joint loosening. First is up and down movement of your neck. So look up, back should be straight, and then down, your chin touching your chest in between your collarbone. If you have any condition of cervical, upper back pain, you can avoid it. If you have any acute situation, severe pain in neck, don't do it. For all other people, just do up and down movement of your neck and feel the stretches. That is very important. Do it with awareness, feel the stretch. Don't just do it loosely. When you look up, breathe in. When you look down, breathe out. So breathe in up, breathe out down. And again, we are doing it with awareness. We are feeling the stretch. If you're not feeling the stretch, you have to increase your awareness. Let your mind be here in the moment. No other wanderings. Just in the room, in the practice, in your body. Very nice. Now neck will become straight. Take one single breath. One single breathing. Now rotate your neck. So rotate it, making a bigger circle. It will go back, come on sides, and then coming in front. Again, it will go back. And feel the stretches. Make sure your back is straight. You're not overexerting your neck muscles, but still you are feeling the stretch. When you go up, when your neck is up, breathe in. When your neck comes down, breathe out. So this is the key of opening up your neck muscles, your cervical, and it is very important. Why? Because as you know, your vertebra has spinal cord running through it. That is a anatomy, medical anatomy, and how your brain controls and your spinal cord controls all the functioning. We are connecting and activating our neck muscles and connecting all the brain functioning to other part of body. Okay, reverse. Reverse the neck movement. Breathe in, neck up. Breathe out, neck down. Make sure your body, your back is straight. Very nice. Four more. Feel the stretch. Very important to feel the stretch. This asana, this Sukshma Vyayam is very good for your overall health. It looks like we are just working on neck, but actually we are working on a whole metabolism, because here we are activating a thyroid gland as well. Very good. Neck will become straight, hands will come down, and just breathe. Breathe and feel how your body is all ready for the asanas we'll be doing. Your body is all activated, warmed up, and you have to always make sure before doing any yogic asanas, you are opening up your body first, you're warming it up first, so that you're not having any injury. So for any exercise, you have to first warm it up and then cool it down. Otherwise, you will have injuries. Next asana we will do is Tadasana. So for that, there are two variations. We will do one. We will keep 6 inches gap between a leg. So almost 6 inches gap between your leg, and it should be parallel. Don't make any V's. Alright, so this is the step 1. Now step 2, interlace your fingers. So your fingers are coming together. Now rotate your fingers, let it go up, palm facing the ceiling. So your palms will face the ceiling, and then have your body straight, your hands are still touching your ears, and lift your body up on your toes. So come up on your toes. Come up on your toes and stay here. Feel the stretch in your calf muscles, in your back muscles, your shoulder, your hands, and then come down. Come down, and we'll practice it with breath. Breathe in, go up. Breathe in, up. Very nice. Breathe out and down. Very good. Again, breathe in, up. It's called as Tadasana. Breathe out and down. Do it with breath, with awareness. Breathe in and up. Breathe out and down. Breathe in and up. Breathe out and down. Let your hands come all the way down from your side. It will come on your side and relax. Let your eyes be closed so that you can draw your attention in your inner body and just feel the effect of Tadasana. Feel the stretch. Feel where exactly in your body you are feeling more blood circulation. Is it your calf muscles? Is it your heart? Is it your hands? Or were your neck region feeling little stressed out? Just observe. This is what yoga is all about. Observe your body. Know your strength, know your weakness. Very nice. Next pose is called as free pose, and actually it is a balancing pose. So we are balancing our body, and here two things are happening. If we go to the mental level, we are bringing all awareness inside us, because if you will notice, if you are thinking a lot about anything else, you won't be able to balance. Secondly, it is very good for people who have conditions like dementia. So imagine you are just doing a standing tree pose, but actually it is stimulating your brain. It is good for diseases, brain degenerative disorders. So let's practice this. It is very simple. It will take a little bit of practice. We will do it in 4 phases. Left leg will be on your mat firmly. So make sure that it is firmly on your mat. Right leg will come up. So you're bending your knee. Right leg is coming up, and you're placing it in the inner thigh. So place it in inner thigh and try to stabilize yourself. You can still continue holding your leg, stabilize yourself. Very nice. And it will come with awareness. Now let your hand come up. Slowly, your hands are coming up, slow and slow. Very good. Hold it here. Hold it for some time. Very nice. Good. Now let it come up. Make a Namaskar Mudra up. So my hands are joining in Namaskar. Very good. And let Namaskar come in front of you. So let it come in front of you. And then slowly your hands will come down. And let your leg come back on the mat. So you might have realized how it looks easy, but it is actually difficult, because you are totally working with center of gravity, and your body is totally, it is at times trying to go forward, fall forward, going back. The trick is, whenever you are falling in front, make your work with your soul. The soul, you have to keep on moving your body weight very subtly. It will come with practice. It will come with practice how you will be in awareness with your body and how you are able to balance. Let's repeat it on the other side. Right leg again straight, my knees are not bending. Left leg, I am making a bend and then placing it in inner thigh. So place it in inner thigh and just stabilize yourself. Make it strong. Make your position, your posture strong. Your back is straight. Now let your hand come up. Your hands are coming up. Stay here for some time. Very nice. Let it come together. Join. Namaskar. Let it stay there for some time. And it is coming down. Namaskar. Very nice. You have already done a great job. Hands down. Very good. Hands down. Let your leg come back on the mat and breathe. Breathe deep breaths. Deep breaths. Just feel how your body just felt. Right now, we have done no holdings, like probably 3 seconds of hold. But with practice, when you come to intermediate level, you hold it for longer time. And you will be amazed how your body right now is, if not able to do it, how you will be able to hold it later. It comes with practice. It is all about practice. So you have to keep on practicing. Breathe. Very nice. Next, we are doing the warrior pose. Warrior pose is called as Veerbhadrasana. And why it is called Veerbhadrasana? Because we are channeling or concentrating all our energy and bringing it in the central channel. So that's why like it is called warrior pose. It brings concentration before you are fighting a war or before you are confronting something. So Veerbhadrasana or warrior pose is very important to channelize your chi, channelize your energy so that you can utilize that energy for whatever next task you are planning to do. So it stabilizes your mind a lot, it stabilizes your body a lot, and it brings 7 chakras in one line. So for that, stretch your legs out. So your legs are stretched out, knees are not bending, both are parallel. So right now my legs are parallel. Next step, right leg, I'm making a twist. See how I make the twist? 90 degree is twisted to 90 degree. Check my knees. Now my knees are bending. So bend your knees, but make sure it is not going beyond your toes. So your knees should not be going beyond your toes. It should be static here. Hands come up. So my hands will be at the level of shoulder. So that's very important, level of shoulder. Now you will look in the direction where your knees are bent. So this is warrior pose modification 2. There are 3 levels to it. We are doing the second one. And what you have to feel the stretches first. You will feel the stretch in your body since it is a day 1. But if you are advanced, you will start to feel energy getting accumulated. So right now, you are totally bringing your energy inside your channels, inside your chakras, unblocking it. Feel that energy. And now, let your hand come down simultaneously along with straightening your knee. So your knee gets straightened. And then let your leg come back again in original position. Both parallel to each other. So this is what we are doing, both parallel to each other. Now, repeating on the other side. So similarly, make an angle with your left leg, 90 degree angle. Knees will be bent, but it is not going beyond my toes. That is very important because we don't want our body weight to come onto our knees and cause any pain in future. Now your hands will come up. So hands will again be parallel or in same line to your shoulder. So make sure you are following that rule, and your head, you will look in the direction where you have bent your knee. Stay there, stabilize your body. Try not to move, but keep on breathing. Keep on breathing, stay in this pose, feel the stretch, and feel how much energy it takes or how much energy, potential energy you are generating, you are bringing in your body, which in future you can use as kinetic energy. Keep on breathing. Very nice. Let your hands come down. Simultaneously, your knee will also become straight. Your leg will come parallel to each other. And then slowly come to center of your mat. So slowly come to center of your mat. Breathe. Eyes will be closed. Breathe. Back will be straight. And just feel how you feel after Virabhadrasana. How your body is feeling right now. Just feel that effect. After these three standing poses, we'll come to our sitting poses. So for that, you have to come and sit on your mat and make sure to stabilize your body. So what I mean by stabilizing your body, your back should be straight, your weight should be evenly distributed. Lots of people, what they do is they tend to sit on one side. So that is not good. If you cannot sit while I think most of people they have issues with their knee or their hips if they are not able to sit down. They should not force themselves today. They should just do it really slow. They should I will do very beginner pose as such because it is for everyone. So stabilize yourself first. With stabilization I mean your eyes is closed, your back is straight, and just prepare your body for sitting asanas. Very nice. So let's start. First, we'll do cow face pose, which is called as Gomukhasana. For that, what you have to do is first you have to work with your leg. So my left leg is making a curve. My heels and hips are in contact. Now the right leg will again come on top of my left, and knees will kind of fall on top of each other. Now your opposite hand, for me it is left. Left hand from top will go beyond behind, and my right hand will come from bottom, and I will make a grip. So let me show the grip how it is. The grip will be like this. So in the back, you will form the grip and make sure your hands are straight, touching your ear, and your back is also straight. So this is very important to feel to have the grip. And if you are not able to make the grip, it is absolutely okay. It is not easy to have the grip in first 5 or 10 sessions. Don't judge yourself. It is absolutely fine. Just stay in this pose, breathe, feel the stretch. Here we are working on our rib cage. It's very good for people who have bronchitis, who have COPD, who have asthma. It's also good for people who have issues with their hands, frozen shoulder, with their back. So overall it is very good. Even it is good to open up your hips. Very nice. Now let your hands come down simultaneously and place it on your knee, palm on top of each other, and breathe. Palm on top of each other, breathe. Change your leg position. So exactly the same, just the leg which was on top will go down, and then adjust your body. Make sure your body weight is distributed evenly on both your hips. You are not lying on one side. That is important. It is little difficult, but try that. Now, opposite hand will come up. So for me, left leg is up. Right hand will come from top, left from bottom. Make a grip again. Make a grip. Your hand will be straight. Your back will be straight. Your neck will be straight. So your neck, upper back, lower back in straight line. Your hand, which is standing hand, will be in contact with ear. Hand which is coming from down, you will feel the maximum stretch there. Just feel it. You are activating your muscles, your hind arm muscles there. So let your muscles get lengthened, get stretched, and keep on breathing. Keep on breathing and feel the effect of Gomukhasana. Very nice. Now let your hand come back into neutral position on your knee on top of each other. Breathe. Breathe and relax. Very nice. Next, we will be doing Titli Asana and after that Baddha Konasana. So Titli Asana is butterfly pose, and as the name suggests, what you have to do is you just have to have your sole of your leg coming together. Let your sole come together, interlace your fingers and place it right in front of your toes. And now, with support of your hand, bring your heels closer to your body. So this is step one. So step one is making alignment of your legs. So you have already brought your heels together closer to your body. Now step two is movement. So movement of your thighs, and here we are opening up our hip joint. So anatomically, anatomically, if you see, we are opening up our hip joint. We are working on our thigh muscles. We are working up with our joints, even our calf muscles. So here we are working that. But in yogic philosophy, we are actually activating our chakra, basal chakra. And the basal chakra, root chakra, is directly related to sense of insecurity with our lots of excretory issues we have, constipation and all. So it is directly related. We are unblocking our root chakra right now. Alright, so this was a very slow movement. Now we have to increase the speed. So your speed will be increased. Make sure your back is straight. So you're just increasing the speed. Your back is straight. Let's try a little bit faster. I'll make just 10 counts. This is very important asana. It looks little easy, but actually you are working in opening up your chakra. And chakras are energy, concentration of energy. And you are working on the root chakra, which is present at the base of your spinal cord, base of your spine. Very nice. Now next, let your elbow come out, rotate it, it will come out, place it on your calf muscles. Place it on your calf and press your calf down towards the floor and bend forward as much as your body allows. You don't have to push yourself a lot, but the trick is to feel the stretches. Feel the stretch in your thigh muscle, your calf, and then just press your calf towards the mat. It is called as Baddha Konasana. We are just channelizing energy, what we have created in root chakra, and stabilizing it. Very nice. Breathe in, come up, breathe in, come up, and come back to Sukhasana pose. Sukhasana is normal cross-legged position. So come in Sukhasana pose and stabilize your back. Back will be straight, neck will be straight. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Just observe your body. Observe where you're feeling most stress, more tension. Are you feeling any joints more activated? Are you feeling more energetic? Or are you feeling tired? Are you sweating? Just notice, observe your body. Observe your body, keep on breathing. Very nice. Next, we will be introducing pranayam. So what pranayam is? Pranayam is how you are channelizing your energy. So pran is energy in your body, ayam is regulation. So pranayam is yogic breath. Yogic breath is different than what we breathe generally, because we generally are not able to breathe in efficient manner. So the normal breath is when you breathe in, your abdomen should come out. When you breathe out, your abdomen should come in. But most of the time people do opposite. Most of the time people take shallow breaths. Their abdomen is not at all engaged. And that's why lots of problems starts to happen, whether it is physical, whether it is mental. So it is very important, at least for 15 minutes, we are practicing pranayam. So pranayam will make sure that oxygenated blood is going to each and every part of your body, each and every organ, and it is getting strengthened. Your organs are getting strengthened. So pranayam comprises of 3 things. Inhalation, which is called as purak, then retention of breath. Retention of breath can be after inhalation or after exhalation, and then it is exhale. So 3 things are there: inhalation, retention of breath, exhalation, and we change ratios of it. So when you are a beginner, we might have ratios of just 1:1:1. we might not even have retention of breath. So it can be 1:0:1. With as soon as you become, as you progress in the path of yoga, the ratio of retention of breath and how to exhale will also change. So that will also depend on how much efficient your body is, whether your body is ready, how much your chakras are activated. So we'll do one pranayam today, and let's focus on Anulom Vilom. Anulom Vilom is alternate nostril breathing. Here we are actually channelizing or balancing the left hemisphere of brain with the right hemisphere. So one is logical thinker, one is critical thinker. We get disbalance, our mind get disbalance. That's why we are not able to focus or we react a lot. Or there are so many things, but if it is balanced, we can see a situation with duality or else with just single thing. We know both the aspects. So this is what Anulom Vilom helps us with. We'll come to Jnana Mudra. Mudra is hand gesture. So you come to Jnana Mudra, which is touching your fingertips, index and thumb tip. Other three will be straight. From second hand, you are forming a Nasika Mudra. Nasika Mudra is when your index and middle finger come at the base of your thumb, and your thumb and remaining two fingers will alternate to work with your nostril. So place your hand right in front of your nose and take one single breath. Now close your right nostril, breathe in through your left. Close both your nostrils. Breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Close both your nostrils. Breathe out through your left. Breathe in through your left. Close both your nostrils. Breathe out through your right. Make sure you are taking deep inhalations and exhalations. Breathe in through your right. Close your right. Breathe out through your left. Breathe in through your left. Close your left nostril. Breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Close your right nostril. Breathe out through your left. Breathe in through your left. Close your left nostril. Breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Close both your nostrils. Breathe out through left. Keep your eyes closed. Let your other hand also come back to your knee and just observe how you are feeling, how your nostrils are feeling, tip of nostril, how is your breath right now, how you feel in between your eyebrows, how you feel in your eyes. Just notice how your facial muscles are feeling. Notice how your brain is feeling, and notice how your chest is feeling. Again, the thing is, if you are having congested nostril, it should not be done. Before that, the cleansing procedure of yoga needs to be done before practicing Anulom Vilom. Whenever there is congestion of nose, no pranayam should be done because it damages further your brain, your nasal passages. So first we have to work with cleansing it and then doing any pranayam. So keeping your eyes closed, just observe how Anulom Vilom has impacted your body. And we have just practiced for less duration. It should be done in sets because hands get tired. It can be done in 3 sets. And this is one type of pranayam. There are other pranayams which help with different health conditions. with stabilizing your mind, with stabilizing your chitta. Next, we'll do Omkara. Omkara we'll do is we'll inhale 3 times. We'll do deep inhalation. We'll hold our breath for 2 seconds, and while we exhale, I just noticed two things. When we do Om, there will be two Om coming out, like Om. The first part where you're not saying it is exhalation through your mouth. But the second part where you're saying the exhalation is through your nose. So you actually close your lips and the exhalation is happening through your nose. So this is important. That's where people get a little confused. So let's try. Inhale in deep. Inhale. Hold your breath. Start. Inhale. Inhale. Let your eyes be closed. Check your posture where your back is straight, your neck is straight, and then just feel the vibrations of Om in your body, in your mind, and even in the room you are practicing. Om is very strong sound. It's called as sound of universe. When sun rises, the sound which comes out is Om. But since our ears cannot hear all the decibels, we cannot hear all the sound, we cannot hear it, but you can feel it. So the feeling which you're having right now in your body after chanting of Om will be exactly the same when you will be out in watching sunrise, and you will feel the same vibrations in your body. Your cells will get activated. So just observe how Om has impacted your body, your cells, and how the chakras, there are 7 chakras, they are all aligned. Bring all your awareness to your body, observe your body, and relax all the agitated nerves. Any thought that is bothering you, just let it go for a moment. Stay here, stay with your body, stay with your mind, and just observe your breath. Just observe how you are breathing in, which we think as a mundane task. It happens automatically, but it is so important thing. It is so important. Lots of people, they have issues just in breathing correctly, or just in they are not able to breathe correctly. They have to have any assistance. So be thankful for the breath you are having with ease, without any obstacles. Observe, express gratitude to your body, how it helps you to carry out day-to-day activities. Keeping your eyes closed, Rub your hands together. So your palms, you will rub your palms together. On our palms, we have various acupressure points. All the nerve opening of various organs opens up here. So we are gently massaging all our internal organs, activating all the muscles, bones, organs by rubbing it. When it is warm, place it on your eyes and face. So place your palms on eyes and face. Keep your eyes still closed. Do it one more time. Do it one more time. Make it warm, warmer than before. And then place it, transfer the energy you have created in between your palms onto your face. And then keeping your eyes closed, just have your palms on different part of your body, back of your neck, back of your head, and your hands. Just transfer your energy from your palms to whole of your body, and then gradually open your eyes. Namaste. Hope you are feeling good and hope you experience this yoga, how it is so subtle and how it actually brings everything together. So if you want to know more about things like with Param Wellness is trying to spread out the knowledge and also help physically and mentally if there is any condition which is bothering you. So just to have a little bit of assistance to you, we have classes. We have classes of 10 days, 3 levels, beginner, intermediate and advanced. So if you have never done asanas or any pranayam, you can get yourself enrolled into the beginner session so that we can teach you, we can guide you, and slowly you can develop and grow, come to advanced level. And then after you are done, you can become self-practitioner. And we are also offering yoga teacher training courses, which means like 200 hours. You will learn everything about the basics, how the history of yoga, text, what the ancient Patanjali Yoga Sutra or Hatha Yoga text talks about yoga philosophy. So you will learn that. So it is basically changing your way of life. You will have so much information, not just to have your physical body corrected or mental body, but your way of living will start to change. You will have your perception towards life will change. Your habit of eating will change. So that is very important. Discipline will come in your life. You will know exactly what I should eat. Your body will start to give signal to you. So that is more important rather than someone telling you, no, don't eat this, don't do that. Your body is telling you. So that is important. Your fatigue will be gone. And then if there are any pains, that will be gone. If there is any condition, if there are disorders, there are various other minor conditions come up, that will start to go down. People like in our wellness center, people have come with various disorders. They have started to feel effect, like their symptoms have started to go down. Although they were continuing, we never asked you to stop taking any medication. We asked you to continue taking all the medications and continue visiting your physician, but still do yoga so that your symptoms are coming down. You are not dependent on something. So you can contact us, and right now if you have any question, you can ask me. And before that, I will wish you all again happy International Yoga Day. Practice yoga daily. Either it is form of physical postures, pranayam or meditation. And anytime if you need any assistance, Param Wellness is there. You can contact us. We will be more than happy to enroll you in any class, or if you just have any query, just contact us. We also give consultations, not just yoga, but also Ayurveda. And we carry various supplements, nutritional supplements as well. So if you want to enhance your yoga practice, if there is body pain, we have various supplements which are herbs, like organic herbs, which will help in stimulating or acting as catalyst to your muscles, so your performance will increase while doing yogic asanas. So we have all these things available. Now I will let you ask me any question if you have. For that, you have to unmute your system. And for rest of you, have a great day. And it was very nice having you all here. We were all here as universally present and coming together as one energy. So I'm very glad for that. Thank you. Namaste. Although I'm here for questions, please ask away. Any questions you have, any query, anything, any comments?
Thank you, Pranjali.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Pranjali Ben.
Thank you so much. Happy International Yoga Day.
Happy Yoga Day. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Param team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranjali ji. Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much.
Any idea when advanced class is on?
Advanced classes will be on next week. We have participants already, they are ready, but they are on vacation right now. So once they are back, we are planning to have probably by Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you so much for connecting and celebrating International Yoga Day together. You can always contact us for any questions, any query. And we are giving free consultation right now in this pandemic situation. So please contact us anytime. We'll give you free Ayurvedic consultation as well as yoga consultation. Thank you so much. You can also contact us for herbal supplements. We are also giving herbal supplements right now. So if you need